Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about some cards that I'm incredibly excited about because these cards were reprinted in Commander Masters, and now we will see if they're actually going to be budget friendly. Some kind of for the first time since I've ever had this channel, and some yet again because there are so many cards out there that I absolutely loved, and then all of a sudden they catch on and people are like, oh yeah, I love this card, cool, 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 and then all of a sudden they get expensive, and now it's like, okay, Wizards, please reprint it. And then it takes years and years and years, and finally it gets reprinted, and now we shall see if the time has come where I can start using these cards once again. I want cards to be less than $1 so they're within my budget. We shall see if these make it there. Again, I think Commander Masters, correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong on this, comes out on tabletop in August 4th, so we shall see how much those prices drop. Regardless, first up, we'll start with the creatures. First, we got Flux Channeler, an incredible card that started to catch on more and more and more, especially with Proliferate becoming more and more of a thing with the Phyrexia sets. 2/2 Human Wizard for 2 and 8 blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Proliferate. This is a huge card for any kind of a deck that heavily utilizes counters, whether that's, loyalty counters on Planeswalkers, whether it's +1/+1 counters, charge counters, etc., etc., etc. And of course, poison counters as well. So yeah, that's why it really got really popular. Yeah, it's a great card. And I really hope that, again, currently it's $1.51. Hope that drops down underneath $1. I hope that does. I really hope this does. I think this one actually was in the, it wasn't in the main set. It was in the pre-cons, I believe. So it might not affect the price as much as it would if it's the main set, but still it should affect that price pretty significantly. Moving on. This one, I believe, actually was in the main set. Storm-Kiln Artist. Now, this card is pushed. This card is crazy good. 2/2 Dwarf Shaman for 3 and a red. +1/+0 for each artifact you control. That's okay. The important part, though, is Magecraft. Whenever you cast a copy in sorcery spell, you get a treasure token. That is crazy good. That's basically every single one of your instant sorceries are now rituals. Not just like a ritual, but like a stored up ritual where it's like you don't just get the mana right away, kind of like a Bergie effect. It's like, no. You get a treasure, which means you can utilize that whenever you want, right away. I mean, or just, you can hold on to it. It can be any mana, and also you can help with other things like improvise or whatnot. So yeah, Storm-Kiln Artist is a crazy good card. One that got pretty expensive pretty quickly because players caught on very quickly that this is just very, very good. And kind of like a ritual effect like this is just crazy good. And yeah, hopefully, again, it's a $4 card, but it's never seen a reprint. Hopefully this reprint takes that down quite a bit. And again, correct me below in the comments if I'm wrong on this, but I believe this was a main set card. So let's see. Next up, Kodama's Reach. This card is basically just Cultivate. It's basically just Cultivate, but it is an arcane spell. So again, go get 2 basics. One goes in your hand, one goes into play tapped. So basically a great way to really ramp and fix your mana, being able to ensure that you hit your next land drop and getting, whatever 2 kinds of basics that you need to really set yourself up. This is a huge card, especially for, 3, 4, 5 color decks out there. It's a card that I think I've probably been able to use this in like 1 or 2 decks out there because it dropped down barely underneath $1 for a little bit and then right back up. And this is a card that I believe was in the main set, so hopefully that knocks its price down quite significantly. Yeah, I could really utilize a card like this. Again, kind of alongside Cultivate in a lot of decks out there. So a very, very good reprint, hopefully knocking it down. Next up, Farseek. I believe this one, unfortunately, was, well, still against a reprint, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I believe this is just in one of the pre-cons, not in the actual main set. But again, correct me if I'm wrong on that. Hopefully that is not the case. That being said, 2 mana, sorcery, go get a Plains, Island, Swamp, or Mountain, put on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Yeah, this is really good for players, especially who utilize, not dual lands, I should say, but lands that have 2 dual types. And you can go get, one of those lands that essentially can really help you out and tap for multiple colors. That being said, even on a budget, I still utilize this card, not utilizing those dual lands, but, just basically saying, hey, okay, I'll get anything other than a forest. In a 5-color deck, that can already just be huge. Comes up late tap. That's great. Again, yet another kind of like rampant growth type effect, but again, for certain players out there, even better. Again, commanding a price right now of $1.72. This is a card that, when I started the channel, was very budget friendly for such a long time, and then it hasn't been budget friendly ever since. So yeah, it's jumped way over $1 in many cases, and now with this reprint, hopefully knocking it down. Moving on, Sky Shroud Claim, a card that is incredible, especially in mono green decks or for decks that can utilize really expensive forest cards. Sorcery for 4 mana, search life for 2 forest cards, put them on the battlefield, and then shuffle. Keep in mind, it does not say on the battlefield tap, so you get that mana right away. You can utilize those cards right away. Again, this is huge again for players that can utilize expensive dual lands, or again, a player like myself that's just like, mono green, cool, I get my forest, cool, I can play them right now. Again, basically a better explosive vegetation in that case. Then when it comes to ramp again, 3 visits. This one has seen a couple reprints over the years. Finally, $4.91 currently. Sorcery for 2 mana. Go get a forest, put on the battlefield, then shuffle again. Not on the battlefield tap, so you can utilize it right away. Again, even just for a deck like one of mine that would not be utilizing expensive dual lands, you can still just go get that forest into play untapped, and then just be able to utilize it right away. Kind of like a Wood Elves type effect, essentially. So yeah, a great card, and one that, again, finally seeing more reprints. Hopefully that knocks its price down further and further and further. Moving on, Windfall, yet another card that is nearly $5 right now. Hope this price gets knocked down quite significantly because it's a crazy good card. Sorcery for 3 mana. Each player discards their hand, then draws cards. Either the greatest number of cards the player discard this way. A very effective wheel, essentially, and says, hey, you know what? That player over there, they're doing pretty good, right? They got like 7 cards in their hand. Everyone else, are we pretty jealous of them? Yeah, let's just do that. Let's get up to 7 cards, essentially. It's a great way that can, work really well in combination with other cards as well. Like a Thought Reflection ways to double up the amount of cards that you are drawing, so you can take even more advantage of them. Or yeah, for a deck that likes to utilize like Psychosis Crawler type effects to punish your opponents whenever you're drawing cards, or maybe punish your opponents whenever they're drawing cards, like a Shieldred. Yeah, you can do a lot of crazy things with this card, and yet another, again, a great wheel type card, and one that really hasn't ever been budget for me, so hopefully this starts knocking down its price. Moving on, Exsanguinate, a very simple but very effective card, one that I believe was reprinted main set at uncommon, so hopefully that dropped its price a ton. $5.44 currently. Sorcery for X, black. Each opponent loses X life, you gain a life, your life lost this way. A great finisher, a great way to gain a ton of life, and a great way to say, yeah, it's late in the game. I'm just going to dump a ton of mana into this, drain you all for a ton, pad my life total a lot, and take you out, hopefully. And then finally, when it comes to these sorceries, yeah, Vandal Blast is a great one that I don't believe has ever been budget-friendly when I've been playing it. Again, budget-friendly for me is, again, less than $1. Sorcery for just a single red mana for target artifact you don't control. So again, you can just utilize it, lower the ground if you need to, or overload it for 4 and a red. Get rid of all the artifacts you don't control. So this is a great way to, well, deny your opponents of a lot of things, including perhaps the ramp if they're not in green and they're using a lot of mana rocks. Goodbye, mana rocks. You are back down to just, well, 0 artifacts. And this, again, does not affect me. It's a one-sided border wipe for artifacts, which, again, can be huge, especially in Commander. Moving on, let's talk about some instants. Reality Shift is a great one. This card looks like its price is already actually updated from this reprint. Again, some of these cards have adjusted slightly, some have not. Reality Shift, exile target creature, control and manifest the top card of their library for 1 and a blue. So actually this one, I probably should have checked right before this episode because I put this list together like 2 days ago, and then I updated a little bit today, but I did not double check this price. That being said, hooray! Budget friendly, again, 57 cents right now. A great way to get rid of any creature on the battlefield. Again, basically a Path to Exile. It's like Blue's Path to Exile, essentially. Sure, they manifest something. Still, get rid of a creature basically permanently. What's not to love about that? Counterspell. This one is just always on the cusp of being less than $1. It's just like right there all the time. Counterspell. What counterspells have been named after, essentially? Instant for 2 mana, blue, counter target spell. Very simple, very effective, very efficient. One of the most played cards in Commander. Please, with this reprint, please drop it down underneath $1 so I can start using this. Moving on, Generous Gift. Another card that started off very budget friendly and then it said creeping up over time. Basically, White's Beast Within, instant for 2 in a white, destroy target permanent. Controller gets a 3/3 green elfin creature token. Good for you. You get an elfin. I just destroyed your best card in play. Again, this can get rid of pretty much absolutely anything. Again, any permanent. Could be a land. If an opponent's got a Gaia's Cradle, yeah, I'll give them a 3/3 elfin so they don't have a Gaia's Cradle. So this can get rid of basically anything. Again, a fantastic card. Sees a ton of play. And yeah, $1.19 is just so close. This reprint, please knock it down. Please knock it down further. Let's move on to some artifacts, though. Soul Ring. Soul Ring may become a budget card for me. I believe this is the first time in a long time it's ever been printed. I believe this is a main set card. This is not just pre-con card. This is main set. So it should knock its price down so significantly that please make it less than $1 so I can start using it. Artifact for a single mana. Tap for 2, the most popular card in Commander for a reason. A card that, again, if they were to restart the format today and rebuild the entire format and be like, okay, what should be legal, what should not be legal, this one might not make the cut because that is an absurd card. Again, Worn Power Stone is a good artifact. Worn Power Stone is a very good mana rock. That costs 2 more than this and enters battlefield tapped. There's a reason why this thing is pretty broken. So a very, very good card. Let's see if it drops down. Talisman of Progress. This, I think, is the talisman that has taken the longest time to go down in price because Wizards didn't reprint it when it printed some of the other ones. And Talisman of Progress is a great one. Again, these talismans are fantastic. Great mana ramp. 2 mana taps for a colorless, or we can tap for either white or blue, does 1 damage to us. 1 damage is nothing. You're in Commander, you start at 40 life. So again, this is just basically a very efficient, very effective mana rock that can help you fix your mana if you need to. Again, in a pinch, a fantastic card. $1.70. Hopefully that drops down. Moving on, Thran Dynamo. I thought I'd never see the day where Thran Dynamo might be budget friendly. I think this one's a main set card as well. Artifact for 4 mana, taps for 3. Yeah, so incredibly efficient, so incredibly effective. Again, at 4 mana, typically you have like the Hedron Archive type cards tapping for 2. This one won't let you draw some cards by sacrificing it, but again, 3 mana for 4. This is a massive just hyper charge when it comes to getting a ton of mana. This can really help you in a deck that just wants to go big mana, or especially, like a monocolor deck that might be not in green. So you can utilize, again, these fantastic mana rocks. I'm like, yeah, let's just supercharge things. Let's get things going really, really quickly. Then finally, I doubt this one will drop down to where I need it to be, but Ashnod's Altar, please drop down. I think they're reprinting it. I think this was main set actually, and uncommon too. So hopefully this knocks it down a ton. Base artifact of 3, an incredible sacrifice outlet, one of the best sacrifice outlets out there. Sacrifice a creature, add colorless to your mana pool. Yeah, a free sacrifice outlet that also gives you a ton of mana. That is huge. There's combos that can be done with it. There's just an incredible amount of efficiency that can be had with it. An incredible card that works so well in so many decks out there. Yet another one that did see a reprint, but I don't think it's going to drop down. But maybe, I doubt it, but I really hope so. $7 right now. Lightning Greaves, cost 2. Group creature has Haste and Shroud, put 0. That is massive because, yeah, this is basically like, it's like, Lightning Greaves is like, Swiftfoot Boots essentially, but Hexproof is better, yes, because you can target your own creature, but sometimes you don't really care too much about that. And also, this has 0 equip instead of 1, so this is just free equip to protect one of your creatures with Shroud, and also to be able to utilize them right away with Haste. So again, basically, it's like free haste for, I would say all your creatures, but just like depends on, what the situation you're in. If you put a lot of creatures to play, yeah, you're only giving 1 haste to attack or whatnot, but if you're using tap effects, you can use them right away with this. It's absolutely incredible. Doubt it's going to drop down, but yet another one that's like, if they keep reprinting it, maybe we'll see. Swiftfoot Boots is now finally budget friendly, and it wasn't for the longest time. Next up, when it comes to enchantments, I'm going to highlight one of them, Darksteel Mutation. An incredible removal spell that is just like, it used to be budget friendly, and then it wasn't, and it was nowhere near budget friendly. Now we have a chance. We've got a chance for this to knock down. Enchantment Aura for 1 and a white. Enchant creature is an insect, artifact creature with base power number 0/1 is indestructible, lose all their abilities, card types, and creature types. This is basically like, hey, your commander is worthless now. And so you can get rid of this, your commander is worthless because no one can take it out. There's other cards like this where it's like, hey, yeah, it's a 0/1 or whatever. But hey, in those situations, you could swing with it at an opponent, be like, make a deal and have it taken out. This one's like, no. The creature's indestructible. So unless that creature that's attacking has like infect, it's not going to get taken out. This is just something that's like, we're going to take your commander out, and your deck probably revolves around your commander. So until you get rid of this, you're probably not doing very much. So it's a crazy good card. Well, it's $1.81. With this reprint, I think that can drop down under $1, hopefully. Finally, let's end up with some lands. Reliquary Tower is a good one when it comes to a deck that really cares about having a maximum hand size, or yeah, just a monocolor deck that's like, yeah, I'm going to draw some cards. And also, yeah, I don't really need too many lands that, or I can utilize, again, I should say more lands that are utility lands that just have for colors. You have a maximum hand size, tap for colors. A lot of decks out there like to draw a lot of cards. There you go. Finally, Arcane Lighthouse, a crazy good utility land. Test for colors, pay 1 tap until on turn, creature responds to the control. Lose Hexproof and Shroud, and can't have Hexproof or Shroud. It's a great card to combat. Well, Hexproof and Shroud, especially, with like Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves, or creatures that inherently have that. A great way to say, now I can target your thing. So again, a great utility lands for decks that can utilize this. This, I don't really think I've seen too many reprints at all. It's $6. We'll see if this reprinting really drops that down. Hopefully, we shall see. Regardless, a lot of incredible cards that have been reprinted, a lot of great commons and uncommons, ones that I really want to see drop down in price, ones that I can finally either use for the first time in my budget-friendly decks, or maybe, again, after having lost them for such a long time. They were there, and then they're gone. We shall see where they're going to end up. Again, I believe the set comes out on August 4th, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We shall see how much those prices drop. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on these reprints. Do you think they missed any reprints they should have reprinted? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.